So an attorney stopped sending you PI cases, or they have stopped trusting you to work on their clients. My name is Dr. 𝒂𝒧💂 with PI Expert Secrets. In today's video, we're going to address, I don't want to say a common theme, but a theme that we hear a little bit too much about from physicians all over the country regarding attorneys, specific attorneys, especially initially in the rapport building process. Maybe a doctor out there has treated one of their clients, and unfortunately, that attorney, that law firm doesn't want to work with that physician anymore. So today's going to be a little bit of a rant where we go into some specifics on why that may be happening on both of the sides, on both the side of the physician and on both the side of the attorney as we close things out. So let's go ahead and jump right in. If you have an attorney who has stopped sending you PI patients or has stopped letting you treat their PI patients, you really want to take a long, hard look at your process. Again, personal injury is all about communication, quality documentation, and really reiterating that skill set and highlighting that skill set that you should have if you're an expert at PI to the legal community. So let's walk through some basics here. If you have not scheduled patients right away, that could be an issue for that law firm. Have you addressed any issues that maybe some of these PI issues are having with compliance? If you haven't communicated that to the law firm, that's a reason for them to be upset. Have you not been always the best about finding objective evidence of injury? Are you correlating specific diagnostic tests to the diagnosis and using those things to actually come up with your treatment protocols? Or are you just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, based on your clinical expertise? That's going to be another red flag, let's say, for an attorney, for a physician who's not, again, finding all that objective evidence of injury, which is going to be crucial for them when it comes time to settlement. Are you not working with a network of providers, of other healthcare providers, and other specialists that really understand personal injury? So maybe you're really good at your treatment process. However, you haven't built the actual network that it takes with other healthcare providers across the board, and then really tied that together with the necessary communication so that the law firm is getting and their client is getting everything that they expect when they deal with you. Maybe you're not, again, making those proper referrals. So you have that network in place or a part of that network, but you're not pulling the trigger so that you're working with other healthcare providers when that specific pathology dictates the need to do so. Diagnostic testing is another one that we often see fall through the cracks that infuriates attorneys. If you think there is something going on specifically, you have to pull the trigger on diagnostic testing to make sure that you can prove that that is actually the injury that has occurred in that accident. That's going to be a very, very frustrating scenario, especially when it comes time, if that case goes to trial, deposition, arbitration, etc. Your team as a physician, unfortunately, might be disorganized at case management. And case management is where you really tie all these things together, not only on the case building side, but also how you communicate with the legal community. Issues there are a common reason why attorneys might not want to work with a specific physicians group or generally. So you maybe haven't had the time or spent the time, I should say, to rapport build with the patient. That's another area. And that's unfortunate too, because you're shooting yourself in the foot if that's one of the complaints that the attorneys have, that you don't have good bedside manner, you haven't properly educated the patient on their injuries after an accident, and then what the treatment protocols are going to look like. And we all know that that can take multiple education settings with the patient. It might not just be on the first visit. It's going to be consistently throughout the treatment process in order to get the best results so that everybody's on the same page. And then to wrap this up, the most common probably issue, and we hear about this one quite frequently when we're doing strategy sessions with physicians, but then on the flip side, we hear it from attorneys all the time, is his arguments and disagreements when it comes time to payment. I'll break this down very briefly. We've done other videos on this in the past. You have to know your state rules and regulations. You need to work with firms that are transparent. You need to know what the settlement value is. You need to know if there's PIP or MedPay, how much they're paying. And at the end of the day, if you're getting reduced because you're working on a lien, you need to know why. And if you don't understand those things, if you don't know the math behind it or the rationale behind it, because you either A, haven't asked, B, didn't receive, or C, didn't rapport build with the law firm enough to actually have that kind of relationship, that can be a real issue. And the minute that you start arguing, and there's a difference between educating yourself on why, let's say, a reduction was necessary versus the combative nature of many of these conversations that we hear. both from the physician and the attorney side. So don't let that be you. Make sure you understand your state rules and regulations. And finally, if you've been hitting all of the major themes, in this video and that others that we're presenting, and you really are a PI expert and you're still, again, not getting the referrals that you should be getting from different referral sources, including the legal community, then maybe you have not reached out enough with the legal community, because there's a lot of quality attorneys out there. There's lots of ways to get personal injury patients, and you might be networking with the wrong firms, and that might just be it. You might be really good at what you do. You have your medical network set up, the documentation's on point, case management, case building, and I won't go through the laundry list of things that you need to be focused on, but if you have all that in place and you're still not getting the number of new clients that you want every single month, you may be networking with the wrong firms. Because again, while the vast majority of law firms out there are excellent, quality people just trying to do the best thing they can for their patients, you are going to come across some, or I should say the best thing for their clients, you are going to come across some, that may be difficult. And that's just across the board in business. So you want to work with like-minded individuals. And if you are hitting all of those key points, again, that we discuss, throughout PI Expert Secrets, and you're still not getting the referrals, it's time to pivot. It's time to look for new actual law firms that you can network with, new people in the legal community who would be willing to work with a quality doc who really understands what they're doing. And there's plenty of those out there, no matter what state, no matter what city you're in. So we hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Dr. 𝒂𝐆𝒂𝒏𝒈 with 𝒑𝒆𝒓𝒔𝒐𝒔𝒑.com. Go ahead and check us out.